How is a little boy treated when he falls compared to when a little girl falls? If you were brought up the way I was, boys were often told to be a man, not to cry, not to whine. Little girls, on the other hand, were almost encouraged to be fragile. It was seen as a feminine trait. But what are the long-term consequences of this emotional conditioning? Our jails are disproportionately full of men, and the significant reason for this is often linked to an inability to express negative feelings in healthy ways. While our generation has made some strides in this area, we still have a long way to go. This week on Grandparents Raising Grandchildren, we're diving deep into this critical topic with Gloria Vanderhorst, a psychologist with 50 years of experience. Gloria's profound work shines a light on how our culture systematically robs males of access to the full range of emotions, leaving them in what she calls an emotional desert. Join us as Gloria shares her wisdom on recognizing these subtle patterns in our grandchildren, and, more importantly, how we, as grandparents, can actively open up the world of feelings for both our grandsons and granddaughters. What vital steps can we take to ensure our boys avoid this emotional desert? And how can understanding our own emotional selves transform relationships within the entire family? Tune in to unlock the secrets to fostering true emotional wholeness and building a foundation of healthy self-expression for the children you love. You won't want to miss this vital conversation with Gloria Vanderhorst. Welcome to Grandparents Raising Grandchildren, Nurturing Through Adversity. In this podcast, we will delve deep into the challenges and triumphs of grandparents raising grandchildren. As we navigate the complexities of legal, financial, and emotional support, I invite you to join us on a journey of exploring thoughts, feelings, and beliefs surrounding this growing segment of our society. Drawing from real stories and expert advice, we will explore the nuances of child rearing for children who have experienced trauma and offer valuable resources to guide you through the intricate journey of kinship care. We'll discuss how we can change the course of history by rewriting our grandchildren's future, all within a supportive community that understands the unique joys and struggles. This podcast was made especially for you. Welcome to a community where your voice is heard, your experiences are valued, and your journey is honored. Gloria points out that genetically, men having originated from their hunter-gatherer ancestors are generally exuberant and physically active. It's actually proven that they are more emotional than girls. And yet, how many times do we hear parents tell their sons, boys don't cry or don't be such a sissy? We as a culture are not afraid to coddle our daughters from their hurts and are more encouraging when it comes to nurturing their grief and their pain. We've generationally suppressed that very nature, inadvertently robbing the male sex of full access to their emotions. This sets them up for the emotional desert Gloria speaks about. Listen in to how she tells us how we can increase our young men's feeling vocabularies. Welcome, Gloria, to our show. We're honored to have you here today.
I'm excited about this conversation. I'm really looking forward to it.
I am as well, because the future of our children and the legacy that we leave as grandparents is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And in your career, you began working with preschool boys,
Right.
Noticing how their exuberance and physical energy was oftentimes mislabeled.
Absolutely.
Tell us more about what you observed and how you believe that our culture, even from such a very young age, begins to limit their access to the full range of their emotional abilities.
Well, I was fortunate to have a friend who ran a preschool. And so that enabled me to work with the preschool children and teachers. And as you know, most preschools are run by females, and most preschool teachers are females. And so when a boy comes into the system, the women are almost distressed by the exuberance of the boy, the activity of the boy, the verbalizations of the boys. Boys get louder, boys get busier,
Hmm.
they move around more. And then what happens is that they get identified as having a problem. And typically, the teacher, the preschool head will think of them as they must have attention deficit because they won't, stay quiet, they won't stay in their place, they want to move
Right.
too often. And so I got to interact with a lot of these preschool boys who were labeled as attention deficit. And in the course of my reading and research, I have come to discover that boys come into the world with a broader range of emotional expression than girls do.
Isn't that interesting?
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself, it's got to be adaptive in some
Right.
way, right? Why would
Right.
we be programmed that boys have a wider range of emotional expression than girls do? That's a bit of a mystery. We could hypothesize, but it's fact. They have a wider range of emotional expression. And so we historically, and for very good reason, right, have trained boys to confine some parts of their emotional expression because think of it, right? As cavemen, they had
Yes.
to take their spear and go out and track animals and kill them while the female stayed inside the cave with the fire and the children. And so we don't want them being afraid or being weary. We want them being strong. And that's carried forward for centuries.
Well, yes, as and yet as a personality trait, that's not something we commonly talk about with men. We say the quiet type, the strong,
Right,
quiet, silent type,
right,
right?
right, right. We don't want them expressing feelings that are soft, tender, yet, right, when we go into relationship with a man, we long for that. But we don't realize that we have already at the infant level trained them to shut off those types of feeling states. We want them to be strong, aggressive, kind of complicated intellectually, but we don't want them to be tender. We really don't want them to be soft. We don't want them to cry. We don't want them to have emotions on that end of the continuum. And it's all wrong. And it's very important at this point in history that we make a dramatic change and encourage boys to experience the full range of emotion.
This is what you've termed in your book the emotional desert.
Right, right.
Interesting because we actually complain when we see that they don't know how to express their feelings.
It's true, right? But what we have discovered is that the male's expression of feelings is narrowed by interaction with mother in infancy.
Interesting.
That's just like mind blowing, right?
It is. We've trained them to be that way. And
Mhm.
so now we have to retrain them differently. And
Correct. We want to encourage that full range of expression because as AI advances,
Mm,
emotional intelligence will have to keep up with it.
mm.
Or,
Interesting. You use internal family systems and emotion-focused therapy.
right.
Tell us how that works.
Well, both of these are based on the reality that we all have access to a variety of different feeling states.
Hmm.
And that even though, all right, we have trained men not to access the more tender end of the emotional range, they still have that capability. It still exists in your brain. Your brain doesn't lose it or
Hmm.
wipe it out. So
Hmm.
you can still access it. And with emotion focused therapy and internal family systems, you can open up those parts of the brain that have been closed by the social structure. And connections can be made, people can come closer together, they can be able to express tender feelings and go deeper into relationship with each other. And that's what we want to encourage, not only in adults, but we want to really encourage that in our younger children and our boys in particular, right?
You mentioned to me in previous conversations a list in which you help us use modern terminology to encourage men, boys, and men to speak about their feelings. Because oftentimes we get irritated
Hmm.
and we don't provide really a very nurturing environment for them to open up.
I would be happy to send anyone this. It's like 4 or 5 pages
Yeah.
with 4 columns on
Hmm.
each page, all feeling words. It's like blow your mind. You didn't even realize that many feeling words existed in the world. And the truth is that when you scan through that list, your brain will automatically pick out the feelings that you're experiencing. So it's all housed up there. We still recognize what we're feeling if we've just been given the right tool to recognize it.
I actually thought that I had this vision of leaving a printed copy on the coffee table in the living room, or even making little index cards with the words and putting them on the dinner table and using one of them, because it's humorous how well, it's not really, but how we discuss feelings.
Hmm.
And I thought it might be fun to see uh, how
I
that triggers the
sure,
family to feel safer about releasing thoughts. And
absolutely. I have had families do that. All right. Put a copy on the kitchen table, put a copy in the living room, and put a copy in the bedroom. And it's fabulous, all right, because your brain can recognize what your feeling experience is. And then you get to have a great conversation, all
but
right?
we're not used to using those terms
No, we're
in
not.
conversations. I can't wait to read it, and I hope you'll share it with us. Perhaps we'll put a link in the
Oh,
show
yeah,
notes.
definitely.
Great. You have a blog.
I do.
Your blog helps men and women better understand their emotional selves and relationship dynamics. I recently received an email from a listener named Laurel. At 61, Laurel and her husband, who's navigating his own health challenges, are now raising their grandson after a series of unimaginable losses. In 2022, they lost their son to a fentanyl overdose. Then just a year ago, they lost their daughter the same way. The morning after, they'd stayed up late together planning her son's third birthday party. Laurel told me that she lives one day at a time. She's dealing with the financial strain of using her 401k to survive the physical toll of caregiving, and the emotional weight of what ifs. But she also said something that I want everyone listening to hear. She said that just telling her story to people who can relate is refreshing. That's exactly why we do this. Whether you're navigating addiction in your family, raising a grandchild you didn't expect to be raising, or just trying to find your footing after a loss, we need to hear your story. There's always someone else out there who needs to hear that they aren't the only one. Your experience is a lifeline for someone else. So if you have a story to share, or if you're looking for that community Laurel found, please join our Facebook group or sign up for our newsletter on our website at grandparents-raising-grandchildren.org. Let's keep relating and let's make sure no one walks this path in silence. Thank you, Laurel, for your courage to share your story with others.
And I put together a book with these blogs so that you can do one a week. You can also go through this in any direction you want. You don't have to start at the beginning and take them in sequence. The name of the book is Read, Reflect, Respond, the 3 R's of Growth and Change. This is a different type of journal. There's an essay on one page, and the facing page is blank so that you can tap into parts of your brain that are not based in language. You can draw, you can scribble, you can tear the page if you want, but you'll lose the essay on the other side unless you tape it back together. But the point is that we can access all of the information that we've come into the world with and all of the information that we have gained. Our brains are just amazing. They hold on to absolutely everything. And
So there's hope
you can
for our
tap back
future.
in. Yeah, you can tap back in to all of that. And it leads to healing, right? When you discover an experience that you had in preschool and how that led you then to decide, okay, I will kind of hold back. I won't initiate. I'll wait for others to come to me because I've been injured someplace in preschool.
Mhm.
And when you find that particular experience where you felt shamed because you did initiate and then you got shamed for initiating, and when you understand that, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to keep doing that.
It's like key to the kingdom.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
It's definitely the key to the kingdom kind of thing.
Well, I'm looking forward to, and I am going to ask at the end where of our conversation where our listeners can find those books and also connect with you. But I'm assuming that the book you're speaking of is available. The 3 R's of Growth
Yeah,
Change
the
is
three
available on
R's of growth
Amazon.
and change is available on Amazon. Read, reflect, respond, 3 R's of growth and change.
Give us one key insight about fostering healthier men.
All right. One of the things that happens in relationship is that women tend to say that they want their men to open up and to be more vulnerable. But when a man does open up, let's say there's some kind of a tragedy or trauma that leads them to burst into tears, the woman typically moves backwards, not forwards,
Mm,
right?
interesting.
Because this is so strange. It's so unusual, right? Typically, the male in my life just doesn't express feeling like this, that we're caught off guard and we don't know what to do. So we have to be able to prepare ourselves to receive the emotion that we say. that we want, all right? And to be able to support the male when he is vulnerable, and not be afraid of it, not move away from it, but move into it and seek more, right? Tell me more of how you're feeling.
I was going to say, what's the best way to respond? To thank them? Sometimes men don't know what to do with that kind of sincerity.
Yeah, the first thing is just to announce that you're here. I'm here and I'm not going anyplace,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because the fear for a male is that they will be abandoned if they go into those
Hmm.
softer
Hmm.
feeling
Mm.
states because they
Mm.
have told over and over again, boys don't cry. And so they need the sense that you're going to stay right there.
What a great point. Almost like a mother's love,
Definitely.
like a
Exactly
hug.
like that. It's definitely like a hug, right? It is a verbal hug. I'm here and I'm not going to go anyplace.
Wow. I think this information is so important for where we are heading politically, socially. We, as women, have been leaders in many ways in our families, and this is a way that we can lead our men to be more wholesome individuals and healthier leaders in their future,
Absolutely. And if you have, grandsons, little guys,
which I do.
you want to welcome their emotions.
Hmm.
I'll tell you a story, all right? If
Love
you
to hear it.
go to the local mall and you watch the exchange between parents and a little boy, toddler, and parents and a little girl, toddler, if the girl gets distressed and runs up to mom and dad, she will get picked up and then she will be asked what happened. If the little boy is distressed, runs up to mom and dad, he will be asked, what happened? If he gives a good enough answer, he will be picked up.
Mm.
Right? Please pick that boy up first. Pick that boy up first and then ask what happened. He should not have to justify himself to get
Don't
comfort.
don't make them justify their feelings and emotions.
That's right.
Important takeaway. Well, Gloria, your 50 years of wisdom are truly a gift. And for
Thank you.
grandparents listening today, any other important messages you want to share with them?
I think the relationship between grandparent and grandchild is golden.
Hmm.
It gives the child the opportunity to have acceptance without question, right? Without having to justify anything. This is the one gift that a grandparent can give to a grandchild is that they are valued just for being themselves.
Mm. Thank you. That's great wisdom to share. Thanks, Gloria. I appreciate your time so much.
I've enjoyed the conversations. Nice to be with you. Thank you, Laura.
Today's conversation with Gloria Vanderhorst has opened our eyes to the emotional desert and how we, as grandparents, can actively nurture a full range of feelings in our grandchildren. Her insights into understanding boys' emotional development are truly invaluable. What resonated most with you from this important discussion? Are there specific ways you plan to increase your young men's feeling vocabularies? Share your thoughts, experiences, or a question this episode sparked for you on our social media or website. Let's build a community dedicated to fostering emotionally healthy, expressive children. And please share this episode with anyone who wants to ensure the children they love grow up with full access to their emotional selves. Together, we can help break old patterns and cultivate a new generation grounded in emotional wholeness. Next time on the podcast, get ready for insights from Coach Yana, the laptop life coach. As we head back to school, we're diving into crucial conversations about safe, fun, and engaging online socialization for our kids. Coach Yana will share her expert strategies for navigating the digital world, ensuring our children connect positively and prepare for a successful school year. Don't miss this vital discussion. Thank you for tuning in to Grandparents Raising Grandchildren, Nurturing Through Adversity. Remember, you are not alone. Together we can find strength and hope in the face of adversity. Peace be with you, and I pray that you find some time this week to listen to your inner wisdom amongst the noise and the pandemonium of this world.